to Coffee with Karishma. This show is about how to stay inspired. Everybody's got to stay inspired, whether you're old, you're young, you're a teenager, wherever you are in life, you need to stay inspired to keep going. Inspiration gets the fire inside of us to keep moving. So this show dives deep into how to stay inspired in many different ways. And we're going to find out how people stay inspired and do necessary things to make their dreams come true. So today I'm going to be talking to Mush Panjwani, who is a successful sales trainer and motivational speaker for about 30 years. He has also been working with corporates, entrepreneurs, and managers for about 30 years in 20 different countries across Asia Pacific. He is also the founder of Din Chak Life, which is a book about living a fantastic life. Mush is also a very dear friend and a mentor, and I personally find him the most inspirational person. So let's talk to Mush. So here's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about how to live a fantastic life. Hello Mush, thank you so much for coming to Coffee with Karishma. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Mush Panjwani. Mush is the first half of my first name.
Yes.
It's Mushtaq
Mushtaq.
Ahmed Panjwani.
Okay.
I was born in India. I grew up in Pakistan. I've lived in Hong Kong for over 20 years now.
Yeah. So can you tell us your journey about how you have become a motivational speaker, sales trainer, and how you've come here? Where did you start and how did you come here?
I was struggling with life, and there were times when I wanted to take my life because there was no hope.
No way.
I used to think that if I can't go to get myself educated, if I can't go to college, how will I get education? If I don't get education, how will I get a job? If I don't get a job, how will I earn? If I don't earn, how will my life change?
Yeah.
And I was in this rut. There's no support from the family. There's no education. There's no, how is anything going to change? And I thought I should just take my life.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of reasons I didn't take my life.
Yeah.
One was I was in love with a 13-year-old girl.
That's so cute. Okay.
And I had decided to marry that girl.
Yeah.
And I had also decided that I have to give that girl a very comfortable and an amazing life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that won't happen if I take my life. The other reason I wouldn't take my life would be I used to wonder, what if there's something called go back to the life, like, second life. And what if the second life is even worse?
Yeah.
What if I'm sent back into this world? And so basically my love for that girl was my biggest motivation.
Wow.
That gave me hope, and that gave me courage, and that gave me all the inspiration to move on.
So where you're at now, what are the things that pushed you and brought you where you are here?
I have been following this 4 steps, which I've also been teaching for many years now.
Yeah.
And the 4 steps is dream.
Yeah, dream.
You're gonna have lots of dreams.
Yeah.
And because I still have dreams,
Yeah.
which are unfulfilled,
Yes.
and that keeps me going.
Yeah.
Even though I've achieved a lot, I've got a very comfortable life, and I could just stop
Yeah.
struggling
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
and have a comfortable life, but I still have dreams. So dreams is the first step. Second step is goals.
Goals.
So this is basically what I'm sharing with you is my formula for success, which I've been teaching, and anybody can apply this, anybody can start following this. I also talk about that in my book. I also talk about that in all my training programs.
Yeah.
When I started a Mush Talks video series a few weeks ago, that was one of the first talks about the 4 steps to
The
achieve
4
anything.
steps.
So it's dreams.
Dreams.
You got to start with dreams, and then the second step is goals. You convert your dreams into goal, which means you make your dreams a little more specific, give it a deadline.
Okay. All right.
And so now you have a goal. Now you know that, okay, this is not just a wish, this is a real thing which has to happen in the next year or 2 or 5 or 3 or
That's
whatever
what you were
time
telling
period.
me when you're going to put this video up online. Yes. Okay.
So a goal has to have a deadline.
Yeah.
So a dream is a wish, a goal is a very specific wish with a deadline.
Yeah.
Then a plan is third step.
Okay.
So you're gonna have a plan, which means, so the dream is what do you want?
Yeah.
Goal is when.
Yeah.
A plan means how.
How do you do it?
So imagine if you already knew what you want and when and how,
Just
what's
do
going to
it.
stop you?
Yeah.
Step number 4 will stop you, action. So a lot of people
Yeah.
miss the step number 4. They have got it all figured out, but they never get started.
Yeah.
Right?
But what do you find? What's the reason that they never get started? Because you've worked with so many people. What's the reason that they don't get
They're
started?
not totally committed to their dreams. They just hope that if it happens one day, good enough. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. So they
Do you
don't
think
like
it's
do or
too
die.
vague? That's when they get a little bit intimidated by it. That's how I find
Well, actually, a
myself.
lot of people don't have an action problem. Most difficult part that people have a difficulty is goal setting.
Goal setting.
They live at a dream stage. They live their entire life with the dreams, with this vague idea that one day this is going to happen and one day that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, take the simple example of this person who says, one day I'm going to be healthy and fit. When? Soon.
Yeah.
How will you do this? I will exercise. When? Soon. You know? I'm going to lose weight. How much? Lots of weight. So you see, everything is very vague.
Yeah. It's not. It's not.
Right? One day I'm going to have super healthy. One day I'm going to start exercising. I need to lose lots of weight soon. It's all vague. It's all wishful thinking.
Yeah.
They've
It's
never
not
gone to the next
actionable.
step. Next step is goal. Goal means, so compare this person to the other person who says, in the next 10 weeks, I'm going to lose 10 kilos.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a goal.
Yeah.
Losing 10 kilos in 10 weeks is a goal.
It's a
Whether
goal.
it's 1 kilo per week or 2 kilos in 2 weeks or whether that's a goal.
Yeah.
And that's where people have a difficulty.
Yes.
They never move because the goal means making a commitment.
Yes. That's
It's very comfortable living it with your dreams and wishful thinking and hoping that one day things would change and one day I'll get started
Yeah.
and
It
I'll
gives
be
it
on.
a time frame.
So that's where people have a
Okay.
difficulty. They just don't move from the dream to
Dream
the
to the
goal
goals.
stage because that's commitment.
That's commitment. Okay.
And sometimes you have a goal but then you don't know how.
Yeah.
Now you've decided you want to lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks but then
How?
if you don't know how you're going to do it, it's not going to happen. So that's where the plan is important.
So you have
But
to go-
usually when people go through the step 1, 2 and 3, they have a plan,
it just.
they would get started because that means they are now committed.
Yes.
So action is not really the usual issue. The real issue is the step number 2 is the most difficult one.
Most difficult one. Okay. So it's dream, goals,
Plan,
plans, and
action.
action.
So dreams, and then out of those dreams you make a goal.
Goal.
And then that goal converts into a plan.
Plan.
Plan is how you're going to do this.
Action.
So if it's a plan for weight loss, it will require a plan for your diet. It will require a plan for your exercise. It will
Yeah.
require a plan for how much exercise, when, where, all those details in a plan.
Yeah.
And then you start taking the action, which is now.
Yeah. So how do you apply this? Because everyone has so much to do. You've got work to do. You've got family to take care of. You've got your plate's full. So when you have things that you want to do, dreams that you want to fulfill, how do you find that time? Realistically, how do you find that time to actually do it? Like,
Actually, it's the other way around, I believe.
okay,
It's if once you have goals in your life, you become more organized.
okay,
The reason people say we don't have time is because they're not committed to anything.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
they just go with the flow.
right.
But once you have made a commitment, for example, once you made a commitment that you are going to exercise every morning,
Yeah.
1 hour,
That's it. Yeah.
which means you will have to wake up an hour early and
Yes.
get to your exercise. So it organizes you, it disciplines you. That's why people who set goals are more disciplined. They're more organized. They're very focused. They know what they need to do because
Yeah.
they have now committed to a goal.
Yeah.
So it's not the discipline comes first and then
Then
goal
the
setting.
goal,
You
yes.
once you start setting goals,
Then you
you
figure out
become
your
disciplined.
life, and you become.
And of course there are certain ways of managing your time.
Yes.
And I teach time management principles.
Yes,
as
you
one
are.
of
You're a
my-
master of time management.
There are certain things that you can do to manage your time well.
Yeah.
And one of the techniques that I use very effectively is called the 4Ds principle. Again, there's a Mush talk on the 4Ds.
4Ds. Can you tell us a little bit about your day? I'm just curious to know how you lead each day. The minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, what do you do?
I travel a lot,
Yeah.
so the routine varies a lot. But when I'm in Hong Kong, when I'm at home,
Yeah.
I like to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and go down for a swim.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because the morning hour is the best hour to exercise.
do you
If
swim in the beach or?
Yeah, I swim in the sea.
That's amazing.
And if it's cold, then I walk.
Yeah.
So I want to do exercise in the morning. Then I come home, I have breakfast, and then 7 o'clock I get started with my day.
Okay.
So if I'm working from the office, I leave home at 7. If I'm working from home, I start working at 7.
Okay.
So by 8 o'clock, I'm on my desk,
Okay.
and I work 8 to 4.
Okay.
So I love to finish my work at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that I have time for the other things that matter.
Yeah. So what
More.
do you do after 4?
So after 4, I would do my personal development stuff. I would do my reading. I would do my. I have several businesses,
Yeah.
so I could focus on something else. I would focus on meeting clients.
Yeah.
But the real stuff gets done in the 8
8
hours.
to 4.
And then 4 o'clock. Sometimes I would just go home. But what is important is that by 7 o'clock I'm home. That's very
Okay.
important.
Okay.
So I could be doing anything between 4 to 7, my flexible hours, my personal development, reading, writing, doing stuff that I want to do. But 7 o'clock I'm home. So there's dinner time with the family.
And that's crucial. You make
That's
that a
very,
priority.
that's very critical. And
Yeah.
then 8 to 9, I've always made myself available for the kids. Now they're grown up, they don't need me. But 8 to 9 is my time for the kids.
Yes.
8 to 9, I'm available.
Yeah.
There's nothing else matters to me because 8 to 9 is my
It's
time
kids,
with the kids. 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is my
Yeah.
time with my wife. And we
Yeah.
usually go out for a walk. We're not doing that as often.
Yeah.
My wife is not enjoying walks anymore. We've done it for 100 years now. 100 years we've been walking every night, 9 to 10.
So what do you do instead?
I go alone for a walk.
No way.
Or I sit watch TV with her, or I be with her.
Yeah.
I try to have that 1 hour time for ourselves.
Yeah.
When nothing else matters, we are there for each other.
Yeah.
Even if we're not walking, even if we're not talking, we're there for each other.
Yeah.
So that happens 9 to 10. Then 10 o'clock is, I would go back to reading or bed, and by 11 I'm sleeping.
You're sleeping.
So 11 to 5:30.
11 to 5:30. That's really good.
Yeah.
So that's very. So you have a lot of control.
And
in
my
time.
weekends are planned usually, so I know what is going to happen on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I have my planned holidays every year, and I plan my time with my family, and I
Yeah.
plan my trips. And so it sounds very robotic and very rigid and very inflexible,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
I'm completely open, and I can be open to any challenges and anything that happens my way because I have so much room in my life.
Do you think it's because you're 100% in it when you're in it?
Yes,
When you're
exactly.
working, you're 8 to 4 working.
Yeah,
So you get the max you can of yourself
Absolutely.
from working.
absolutely.
That's amazing. That is so inspiring. I feel that most people have problems with just being rigid with their time. They feel like it's too robotic, it's too, and just doing it over. I personally have that problem. I just feel like it's too tight, too fixed. I want to go with the flow. Sometimes I don't feel like doing something.
But the things that are important to you got to do them every day.
You just gotta do
Do you
it.
take a shower every day?
Yeah, you just
Same
gotta
time
do
every
it.
day?
Yeah.
Do you have breakfast?
Yeah.
Same time every day? Why do you do that?
Just-
It's a routine because it's got to happen.
It's gotta
The things that have got to happen, they have got to happen at a particular time every day.
What
That's
if-
the only way that happens. If you want to exercise, it will only happen if you exercise at a particular time
Time
every
every single
day.
day.
Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So it's not about your time management issues, it's about your commitment to your health and fitness. For example,
That is
if you're committed to
interesting.
your health and fitness, you will find an hour for exercise and that hour will be fixed. For some people, it's the lunch hour. My son exercises during the lunch hour and I'm most impressed.
Yeah.
Everybody's having a 1 hour lunch break and he spends 45 minutes of his lunch break in a gym,
That's amazing. Yeah.
right? So,
What if you don't feel like doing it one day? Are there
That's
other
okay.
days when you don't feel like
So-
doing something?
so big deal. Don't do it one
Don't
day.
do it one day.
As long as it's one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 day per life is allowed.
Yeah. Per life. I was gonna say per month.
1 day per life.
Per life.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. 1 day per. Yeah, as
Have you
long
ever
as
faced that?
as long as you know that it's not gonna completely derail you from your goal.
Yeah.
So it can be for some things it can be 1 day per week. Like I have a cheat day
Yeah.
once a week.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
what is your
exercise.
cheat
I
day?
eat everything. Sunday is my cheat day. I eat everything.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, I'm very rigid with what I eat and what I don't eat.
Very healthy.
Yeah, so you can't make me eat rice during the week
Wow. That's amazing.
or
So
desserts
anyways,
during the week. So
Healthy.
yeah, but on Sundays I can eat anything. So it's a cheat day. So with the diet, once a week works.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with relationships, no.
No.
Once a month, maybe you take a break from your loved one. Once a month.
Yeah.
But usually it's something that you gotta do every day. Your reading habit, your personal development stuff needs to be done every day.
Correct. Yeah.
So some things you can take a break once a week.
So I know that you swam with sharks on your 50th birthday, and I find that super exciting, super cool. And I want to know how you did that, why you did that, how did that come about, and how you made it happen. Because it sounds kind of scary, but it's super exciting.
It was scary and it was
Yeah.
fantastic. It was great fun. It happens in a few places in the world.
Where
And the
did you
place
do it?
where I did that is in Cebu.
Cebu.
So you go to Cebu and there's a place where, what's the name? I forgot the name. It'll come to me later.
Okay.
There's a place outside of Cebu, you drive 2 hours and there's this place where you swim with the sharks. And these sharks are very gentle, nice, beautiful sharks. And they're not grown-up sharks, they're baby sharks, so they're only 20 feet.
Okay.
20 feet.
Oh,
sorry,
only
like
20 feet.
3 times of my size.
Baby sharks.
4 or 5 times my size. And
Yeah.
for some reason, they're not interested in eating people. They're
Oh.
being fed something else.
Oh, perfect.
Some small fish.
Yeah.
And they just come and they feed on the fish and
Yeah.
you can swim with them and you watch them and they're amazing, they're awesome.
Yeah.
But your real question, why,
Why?
is all this whole idea of having a dream, writing a list of things do you want to wish.
Okay.
So when something comes, when you have a wish,
Yeah.
you find something out and you say, oh, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
You make a habit of writing that down in your dreams list.
Yeah. Okay.
And once you write that down, there's a much better chance that one day you'll do something about it.
Correct.
You keep reviewing your dreams and then you pick something out of your dreams and say, okay, this I could do now. I'm going to be in Philippines, so this could happen this year. You convert that into a goal. So a dream becomes a goal, and then it happens. Then the plan. Plan means, okay, what's the plan? So you go to find 2 days in Cebu, and you need this much money, you need this much time, and you find where it is done, and you go do it, right?
Do it. Yeah.
So it's not all that difficult to do things.
It's not.
It's just follow the process.
Just follow the process from the dream all the way to action. Most people just stop there.
Something else that I find very helpful is the way that you can write your dreams in 3 different categories.
Okay.
Right? So, and this I learned from Zig Ziglar 100 years ago. I was listening to his motivational tape, cassette tape. You probably don't know what a cassette tape is.
I do. I was
listening to a cassette tape of Zig Ziglar 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And he said, you're going to write your dreams down. And I remember as if it happened yesterday in his American accent. And he said, you're going to make the 3 most important lists of your life today. Buy a notebook, write those 3 lists. So the first list is everything you want to have.
Okay.
So it's usually material things you want to have. I want to have a car, I want to have a house, I want to have this, I want to have that.
Yeah.
So you make one list of things you want to have.
Yeah.
You make a list of things you want to do. So all the experiences, all the traveling you want to do, all the things you want to learn, all the, I want to do scuba diving and I want to jump from a plane, I want to swim with the sharks. All of that goes under experiences, the things you want to do. And then the last list is things you want to be. So I want to be a good dad, I want to be a good husband, I want to be a good brother, I want to be a good son, I want to be a salesperson, I want to be a good marketer, I want to be an author, I want to be a trainer, entrepreneur, businessman. So everything that you want to be, you write that down. So it helps to...
So this is within the dreams list.
Within the dreams list that you could categorize this way. So that's one way of writing your dreams.
Yeah.
So in that dream, one day I wrote down, when I found out you could swim with the sharks, I wrote down, I want to swim with the sharks. It was only 2 years ago that I heard about this and I said, oh, I would love to do that. But there was no definite commitment that when. But
writing it down helps. So writing it down just at least gets that dream into paper. There's a higher chance of that turning into an action.
And then you make a habit. For me, it's a ritual. I go through my dreams list in November.
Okay.
So in November, I go through my dreams list and say what is gonna happen. So I want to create my to-do list for the following year. So it's not resolutions. I don't believe in like New Year resolutions. For me, it's the plan or the goal for the next year. So in November 2015, I would start reviewing my dreams and say, out of this, what do I want to achieve in terms of goals? So making a commitment that these things will happen in 2016. And so that's the first step, making a goal with a plan. And then on my birthday, which is in April, it's a good time that the first quarter has passed. So I review my goals and plans for this year. How much has happened? What do I need to adjust?
So you're on it. You're always on it. You're always constantly.
Yeah, and then a few months later, I'm reviewing it again in August, September, and say, okay, just 5 months left, 6 months left. Now is a good time, like half year is gone. So I'm already thinking half of the year is gone. I was looking at my goals for this year, and I was saying, okay, yeah, good. I'm making good progress on a few, but I haven't done anything yet on this thing. I have iBooks to figure out this year.
iBooks.
I want to create iBooks.
Yeah.
And I haven't done anything. So because I looked at it, I realized that if I don't get started now, it's not going to happen. And it had a plan, it has a plan, but it didn't have a starting date. It's like I knew that I could just spend a few weeks on iBooks. And anytime during the year I'll do it. It was not one of those really strictly time-bound things that it said end before the end of the year. So I gave myself that room. I could have said by the end of June 2016.
That's also really interesting because you're right, not everyone only has one goal or one wish. Everybody has many goals and many wishes. And a lot of the times people get so overwhelmed with so many wishes and they're like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to do anything. But what's really good is that you give yourself that room until the end of the year, or you give it priority. This is important, this is not important, this can wait, this is not going to wait.
The other way, a response to that comment would be that once you figure out the important parts of your life, once you realize that these are so for me it's 5 different things, right? So it's money. Money is one thing. So everything that you do with money, whether it's debt, getting out of debt, or whether it's savings plan or retirement plan or saving for this, or so all your job, career, professional goals basically fit into the money part because that's all to do with money, right? So money is one big area. You set goals and dreams in that area. You set goals. How much you're going to save, how much you're going to earn, what will be your revenue. If you're a businessman, you have money goals. So money is one area, well-being is another area. Your well-being means your physical, mental, emotional well-being, and what are you doing about it.
Yeah.
The third area is personal development.
Yeah.
In terms of priority after money, or it's not in terms of priority, anybody can have different priorities. So then there is personal development.
Yeah.
And that's important to me. I want to learn something new. I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So that's important. Then relationships are important. So these are different areas
Areas that you can.
that I have figured out. This is my important areas: money, personal development, relationships, well-being, contribution.
Wow.
I
All of this-
I
all
added
this-
contribution to my mix.
Mix.
When I realized that I need to do something for the world. I need to do something bigger than.
How did you come up with these models? Is this something that you?
Well, there is an established model called the Wheel of Life.
Yeah.
So if you Google Wheel of Life, you will see many different complicated models.
Yeah.
Usually, the most common one is 8, 9 different areas of your life.
Yeah.
And I basically simplified those 8, 9 into these 5 that work for me.
Do you have all of these in your book? All
Most of
these
this.
models? Okay, that's perfect. Because they're so helpful and so helpful to just kind of be on top of it.
So this model developed even more after I finished writing that book.
Okay.
So parts of that is
Yeah.
in the book, yes.
Okay, lovely. That's amazing. Learned so much from you today. So if I want to get hold of all these models that you've written, is it on your website? Because I'm sure some people.
I blog about these things and it's in my book, and I've started my video series, and mushpanjwani.com has some of that stuff.
Thing that keeps you motivated, because we have all these great models and goal setting models to follow, and it's super. I'd love to follow them, but it's difficult to get yourself at that stage to just do it to get motivated. So what is that one thing that keeps you motivated and keeps you going?
I'm glad you asked that question, because there's something else which is the foundation for everything that we've talked about,
Yeah.
which we didn't talk about. And that
It is
is,
the main thing.
and that is the principle of happiness
Okay.
and positivity.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times, and a lot of people believe that happiness comes as a result of achieving something.
Yeah.
That when you are healthy and fit, you will be happy. When you have great relationships, you'll be happy. When you are in a great job and a career, you'll be happy.
Correct.
When you make lots of money, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
There's this amazing research and findings in positive psychology.
Yeah.
And the couple of people at the forefront of that is Sean Eckhor, for example,
Yeah.
who has written this book called The Happiness Advantage.
Okay.
And I've been learning and following that work for quite some time now. And so what they're saying is that happiness is the starting point.
Okay. That's
So
interesting.
it's not like people who have money will be happy.
Yeah.
It's people who are happy will make more money. It's not like people who have great relationships are happy. No, people who are happy will attract great relationships.
Okay.
So this is the foundation for everything that you do, and that's why we gotta spend some time and effort and invest in some amount of learning and our energy and focus on learning how to become more happier.
Yeah.
Because you raise your level of happiness and positivity,
Yeah.
everything else start to happen,
Become happy. Yeah.
right? So back to your question, how do I stay motivated? And I
Yeah.
believe that happiness is the first step. So once you learn how to be happy and positive,
Yeah.
that gives you more motivation.
And is it a
And
mindset?
that motivation makes you successful.
Yeah.
And so it's happiness which leads to your motivation, and that motivation. So happiness plus motivation put together makes you successful. So you will not be able to follow your 4 steps or the 4 Ds or any of these models
Yeah.
if you're not a happy and a positive person. You're gonna
Correct.
wake up happy.
Yeah. But how do you be happy? Say for example, someone's life is just going miserable. Everything sucks. Job sucks. Family sucks. Relationships. Everything just sucks. How do you get up and be like, no, I'm happy. I got this. How do you do that?
Well, that will require another hour of talking, because that's my favorite topic. You know,
Yeah.
this 10 steps to happiness. I could do a 90-minute
Yeah,
talk on
yeah.
10 steps to happiness.
Yeah. For that we go to mushpanjwani.com. We need to.
But what I would like to say is just one thing, which is a starting point of all happiness and positivity, is gratefulness.
Gratefulness.
You're gonna wake up in the morning and feel grateful that you're alive. Regardless of the issues in your life, you're gonna feel grateful. 200,000 people died in the last 24 hours. Did you know that? 200,000 people die every day. We did not die. We woke up alive, and we can take it for granted, or we can wake up alive and say, yeah, I got alive, I got up alive, I've got life. So it all starts with gratefulness. You gotta be grateful for the things you do have in your life, and regardless of the challenges and problems, you have a lot of things to be grateful for.
Correct.
You gotta be grateful for being alive,
Your
having
eyes,
a family, being able to breathe, having food to eat, having a shelter, having a house. Number of refugees in the world right now is record breaking.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted that we have a house and we have a country that we call home.
Yeah.
If you have a family, if you love somebody, if somebody loves you, if you can read and write, if you're educated, you got a job, you got some money, you have so many things to be grateful for.
Correct.
So that's the starting point for all the happiness and positivity. And happiness and positivity is the foundation for all the motivation.
To come over.
And happiness and motivation put together
So just
makes
be
you
grateful
successful.
for what you have. Even if everything is going miserable, it looks like it's miserable.
Everything is not miserable,
Nothing
everything
is
is so
miserable.
fantastic.
Everything is fantastic.
If you woke up alive,
Have coffee.
everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
You have coffee, everything is fantastic. Did you have breakfast today?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you're having a great life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is not miserable, everything is super good.
Super good. So the key is to be grateful.
To
and
acknowledge all the
to
amazing
acknowledge
things, to acknowledge
what you have.
all the
Yeah.
great things in your life.
And then you become happy, and then you stay motivated, and then you can do goal settings and apply the 4Ds and dream and do everything that you want to do.
I know it sounds very simple, but that's what I've been doing
You
for
are a
30
living
years.
example of
And I've
it.
been teaching that principle, and
Yeah.
you gotta push yourself to train
To
yourself,
train
to-
yourself.
To develop some of these habits.
Yeah.
And it all starts with
Yeah.
learning how to be happier. Once you
It's
become
almost just
happier,
like-
everything else starts falling in place. Happy.
Happy.
If you are happier, you will have better relationships. If you are happier, you will be more productive at work. If you are happier, you'll start making more money.
Money.
If you are happier, you'll be healthier.
Yeah.
You'll live longer.
Yeah. Just smiling and being happy. Yeah. That's true. So everything starts with happiness. That's super, super interesting. All right, great. Well, that is great insight and a great overall look on how to live a fantastic life. Thank you so much, Mush, for coming on this show, and you are a great inspiration once again.
Thank you very much for having me here. It was great talking to you, and I hope this talk inspires people.
Thank you so much for watching Coffee with Karishma. I hope you have gotten inspired and got that fire out to get closer to your dreams. Let me know what you thought about today's episode in the comment box below, and stay inspired, and see you next episode.